It is Monday, so it's time for the weekly candle analysis and, of course, a lot more. Hello Adrian and welcome back to my channel. It is 7:30 p.m. UTC plus 8 is my time zone. Welcome everybody who is watching around the world. Hope you are all doing well on this start of the new week, the start of a new beginning. And boy oh boy, what a beautiful start did we have for today, didn't we? Wow, that was a beauty this morning. So before we go into the whole technical analysis, let me say welcome first to the hardcore crew who are with me basically almost every day. Hi Theodore, hi Darren, hi Pledit, hi Gil. Happy morning. Yes, hope you are all doing well. Hi Bawit. What a day, what a day, what a day. And yes, we have a lot of things, just very important things to be discussing about our beautiful Bitcoin, of course. But before we go into that, well, we haven't watched the COVID numbers for a while, so let's do that for a change before we go into the technical analysis. Hi Nikolai, hi Darway, hope you are all doing well as well. So in the United States, we have finally crossed the 5 million cases right now. Brazil has over 3 million cases. India has over 2.2 million cases. Oh, wow. I haven't seen the numbers for a while, but yeah, those are not very pretty numbers, right? Let's take a look on how it looks on the whole world. See ya, Theodore. We are very near 20 million cases now overall. Yeah, that's a lot of cases. And well, on the charts, everything is still looking pretty much the same. So nothing else different there. Hi Lex, hope you're doing well as well. Hi Piotr, thank you for liking the stream. Anyways, so let's move into the technical analysis because we got quite a lot to be going through, right? So hi Glenn. You stopped the bull run already. Wow, that's very strong of you. Anyways, so yeah, we got a lot to be going through. So let's go first on the technical analysis. Let's go first into our shorter time frame and follow up on basically what we were talking about yesterday. So yesterday we were talking about a small pullback towards the downside, and actually we didn't get that much down. Actually, we only got down to like 11.5 ish or something like that, and it held pretty well. I was hoping that it would go down a little bit more towards the EMA 55, so I could get another nice entry, but sadly enough that didn't happen. And basically this morning after we got our weekly close, so let's move over to our weekly close. Our weekly close is beautiful, was very beautiful. As you can see, we have to be looking at this candle here, not this candle that we are forming because that's the new candle of the week, this candle here, and you can clearly see that now we have a very big macro change in our Bitcoin movement, right? So this is a macro change. Hi Coral, because this is the first time that we have a higher high, a close that is a weekly close that is higher high than the previous closes of where we got rejected the last time, right? So if we look in the past, we can clearly see here we got rejected here, we got rejected here, and then finally now after basically 2 years, we are finally making a high. Sorry for that, Clan. They are too busy. You'll have to live with it. And so yeah, that's basically what we are looking at on the weekly. We finally have a change in on the macro scale. That is basically what we are seeing right now. So what does this mean? Yeah, well, if we are creating a close that is a higher high, obviously continuation towards the upside is what we are looking at. And well, we are now here at this resistance line, and as you can see, the next resistance line is here at around $14,682. So that's basically what we are looking at. And well, we have seen that already before with our monthly close, as you remember, when we were taking a look at it, and we can clearly see that on the monthly as well we have no, not that one, this one, of course, this month, the monthly close, we were talking about it already, that we finally have a higher high as well. So in comparison with the previous monthly candles, right? So basically this weekly candle confirms our macro trend that we most likely will be going towards the upside. And well, if we are making a measured move of this sort of channel here, then we have already talked about that already. If we are making a measured move here, we can clearly see that we will be reaching around that 14,000 ish area if we are making the measured move, right? So like I said, I'm still I'm still sticking with that movement. Most likely 14,000 yeah, $14,000, somewhere around there, most likely around maybe end of the month or maybe next month or something like that. Of course, we cannot put an exact time frame on it, right? So anyways, what happened during so after the monthly close, after the weekly close, we had a very positive weekly close, of course, and then price immediately pumped towards that distribution zone, back to the 12,100 12,200 ish area. What I have been talking about, and did I tell you guys as well, if you've been listening to my videos, if we are making a higher high, and this is basically what happened, right? So we had our high here, and I told you if we are going back to that distribution zone of around 11,100 11,200, and we are creating a higher high, most likely we will be creating bearish divergence on the RSI, as you can see here. So that was our previous, and this was here. And then what did I tell you as well? If we are going to make that higher high and confirm that bearish divergence, we can be seeing most likely a huge drop towards the downside, about $1,000. Like I said, that is very possible that is going to be happening. And then so we touched that position, and what happened, yeah, you can clearly see already. So we went to 12,100 and something, 12,110 to be exact, and then we dropped all the way back down here to 11.5, right? So so as you can see, that is basically the move that I've been talking about, that we should be very, very, very careful about, because yeah, once we get to that distribution phase, most likely we will get that big retracement towards the downside and a very shocking movement, and yeah, that's that's basically what happened, right? So and yeah, so that's basically what happened. Are we now bearish or anything like that? There's absolutely nothing to be bearish about. First of all, we are still holding above the 11,500 area, which is already super good. And not only that, as you can see, that wick went up, like it was like in a fraction of a second it went up, and yeah, so basically you know, a lot of buying basically happened during that dip. And for the people, like I keep saying, the EMA 55 is really a perfect spot to be always leaving out some scam orders. That's how I call it, some scam orders to the bottom. And then yeah, if you've done that, then most likely you've catched a very nice entry position. And that's basically what we should be thinking about at this time and point, because like I said, the momentum is towards the upside. Yeah, of course there are opportunities, like Jennifer, you shorted it. That is that's very heroic. That's what I call, because well, for me, I think it's too dangerous to be shorting. Yes, this is a huge move towards the downside, for sure, but like I said, this move, it bounced back up so quickly. So sometimes if you are not at your computer, or you're not watching, or you're not you know, careful, you can be stuck with your short position, and it bounced immediately back up, and then you're basically, you know, your profits will be stuck or will be gone very, very quickly, right? So what I really recommend is just to be buying the dip. Basically, it's that simple, trying to buy the dip. Okay, so what are we looking at right now? Well, we are looking at exactly the same thing as yesterday. Are we going to be holding the pivot point, which is currently at 11,681 on the next 4-hour candle close, which will happen in around 19 minutes, something like that. And it would be even better, of course, if we are going to be closing above this green box here. That would be above the R1, which is at 11,800. So if we close above 11,800, that would be even better. But other than that, what we basically just want to be seeing is a close above the EMA 21, above the pivot line, and that would be at 11,725, as you can see here. Right. So we will find out in the next couple of minutes if what will happen on that close as well. If we do close below it, then most likely we'll be hanging around more towards the downside a little bit longer. But like I said, I really everything on the macro level is looking really, really bullish, right? So I would say buy the dip rather than anything else, right? Okay, let's take a look on the daily, and this is what we are seeing on the daily. And like I said, if you've watched my previous videos before, I told you we would most likely see a very similar candle like this one, and that's basically what we're seeing right now, right? A really long candle with wicks on the top and on the bottom side. But what is the most important thing is, of course, like I keep saying, we need to be holding the simple 10 moving average, which is at 11,568. Closing below that would be, I would not say concerning just yet, but it would not be a positive thing for our run towards the upside. And other than that, well, our structure is still the same as what we have been talking about before. This is this ascending triangle that we are seeing, and most likely we will be going towards the upside rather than the downside, right? The probabilities is just higher than there. Yes, Jerson, it all depends on your risk management, right? So for me, I just love to be buying as low as possible, so I have the patience to be just waiting it out. Like I said, I have a position at 11,350, so you know, for me it's and I have also said, like, you will have multiple chances, well, not multiple, you will have the chances more, because like I said, this area is distribution here. Most likely we will not get through it in the first time. However, the third time, like I said, this is the first time, this is the second time, most likely the third time is the charm. So the third time, most likely we will be breaking up above this triangle towards the upside. So I do believe in the next week or something like that, we will most likely be breaking towards the higher levels, right? Like, and eventually what I want to be seeing is this 14,000 or something like that. So something like this. So we hang out around here a little bit, dump down maybe a little one more time here, then go to this one, then form something like this, and then break towards the 14K area. That's basically what I will be expecting over the next couple of weeks. Or something like that. It could take a little bit longer as well. If we are looking at this triangle, 70% of this triangle would be on the 15th of August. So it could already happen this week, to be honest. So this week or next week, I do expect us to be having a resolution of this formation. Like once again, you have to be very careful. The probabilities are obviously higher towards the upside. Momentum is definitely with the bulls. The monthly close was definitely positive. The weekly close was definitely positive. So the probabilities are obviously higher that we are going to go more towards the continuation towards the upside than the downside. But always keep in mind that there is always a possibility that things can go wrong, right? So the same things that we've been talking about are still very valid. So if we close a daily candle below the EMA on the daily basis, if we close below 11,000, which is where the EMA 21 right now is, if we close below the 11,000, most likely we'll be heading down towards that critical 10.5 area. Most likely we'll get a small bounce there, but then I do expect us to be breaking down towards 9.8K or the lower, like breaking below 10K basically once again. So keep that in mind. Everything is looking positive so far, but there's always a risk. There's always a risk. So make sure that your risk management is in order and that you have properly stop losses or whatever you're doing. Make sure you have a full plan whenever you're executing a trade, right? So right now, we're just waiting for what is going to be happening and closing on the next, 13 minutes or something like that. What we can see on the RSI is like I've shown you, this is this bearish divergence. And well, to be honest, for me, this is basically, this whole move towards the downside is basically, that's what that bearish divergence is. So I'll be removing that. I don't think we'll, we'll find out, but yeah, we can make some sort of like a support trend line like this already on the RSI, right? So there's a possibility that we still have momentum, like you can see, towards the downside a little bit more, and then we can push back up from there. So that is the support line that I'm seeing right now, which would mean that there's a possibility that we could go back to, like, let's say somewhere around 11.5 or something like that. One more time, a swipe towards the 11.5. But yeah, can't really be a full judge of that. It all depends on the next couple of closes before that, before we can judge what happens or what happens. But other than that, yeah. You can't be bearish when you are seeing this kind of stuff, right? What I was very interested in is, of course, all the dips on all these shit coins that I've been buying. Well, not really buying, that I've been longing. Link, for example, yeah. Let's take a quick look at Link before we go on everything. So the big everybody, well, a lot of people are asking me, well, is this the top for it? Is this the top for Link? Well, there's, for me, this is not the top just yet. Why? Because, well, there's still no bearish divergence to be found. So as long as there's no bearish divergence to be found on Link on the charts, then yeah, most likely it is going to be up. So yeah, I do expect the next targets is basically $16 for Link, and then most likely, as you can see here, $17 and $18. So I don't think the fun is over just yet for Link as well. As long as, like I said, as long as I don't see any bearish divergence. This is just once again, this whole structure here is accumulation. Crazy enough to be saying, but yeah, that is basically accumulation. Very similar like this, accumulation and then a push up towards the upside, and this is accumulation. And what I'm expecting is over the next couple of days is a move towards the upside as well. So yeah, maybe on the next move up we will start to create bearish divergence, but like I said, until we get there, then then we'll have to see, or we'll have to find out. But yeah, yeah, that is correct, Bonwit. There was bearish divergence, a little bit of bearish divergence to be found. Basically this one, right? So where we made a higher high here from this point to this point, and then we had a lower high here from this point to this point here. So we made a little bit of bearish divergence, and that's why the price went a little bit down here. But yeah, that's it. That bearish divergence for me is most likely already played out. So yeah, I think now it's just sideways and accumulation and more upwards, onwards and upwards. That's what I would be thinking. So yeah. For the people who still want to be trying to be entering on Link, it's very hard right now to be saying anything. Yeah, if the best entries are already made, right? On that dump here, as you can see here, it hit the support level twice at what was it? $12 and what was it? $12.48. That was basically the target. I mean, that was the area to be joining in on Link basically. And yeah, not only Link, like I said yesterday, we've been through that list. A ton of good stuff. Band has been doing extremely well as well. I hope you have been taking notice of Band as well. Band has been amazing as well. So let's take a look here. Band. So Band did a small dip, and it didn't even dip towards the first support zone. As you can see, it only dipped to the 10 simple moving average, right? Just to the 10 simple moving average, and back up we go towards that second and it's already back up now at the second resistance. And yeah, if it closes here over the next 8 minutes, then I see this one going towards the $18.7. So yeah, more band more band to be going towards the upside as well. Although the RSI right now is super high, but yeah, we still are we going to be we are most likely going to be creating some bearish divergence on band though. Let's take a look here. No no bearish divergence on band as well. So yeah, like I said, most likely we still have a little bit of energy back all the way up to $18 or something like that, and then a little bit retracement once again. So after the retracement, it's the same thing. Put your buy orders at like some nice positions at like that. For band, this is the 10 simple moving average. But on other tokens or coins, you can be a little bit more safe by putting it on the EMA 21 or even on the EMA 55, of course, right? Those are the EMA 55 is really when we get those scam dumps towards the downside, but most of the times the EMA 21 works really well. And on the other hand, don't chase things, right? So I see a lot of people FOMOing in, and that's when things go really wrong, because you don't have enough margin towards the upside because you're stuck, and then you have a very little you don't want to put in a tight stop loss, and so on, and that's basically when things go wrong very quickly. But yeah, this looks like a continuation, most likely towards 18.7 from here, and then we'll see what happens there. I mean, most likely some retracement, I would assume, but still no bearish divergence. So on the next retracement, when we get back down there, I would say buy it back up once again, and and off we go. I guess, right? Off we go towards higher points. But yeah, it has been really crazy for the altcoins, because if we are looking at the Bitcoin dominance, we are still extremely low. Like this is very low. So I think this is like one of the first times that we are seeing a very strong bullish momentum in the market, while Bitcoin is not rallying super hard towards the the Bitcoin dominance is not rallying super hard towards the upside, where all the altcoins are being crushed. But on the other hand, I hope you also realize that when Bitcoin is going up, you can clearly see that it smashes the altcoins towards the downside as well, because when it was rallying, it was going up. The altcoins got crushed pretty hardcore as well, right? On the other hand, one of the other reasons how you can describe what was very likely that we would get a dump towards the downside is, of course, by looking at the CME chart, right? The CME chart for today, and I put it already on this morning. I woke up and we saw that there was a gap here in between 11,650 and 11,775. So there is a premium of around $200 towards the with the spot price. So 11,650 would be an equivalent of around 11,450. And where did the price dump all the way back down? As you can see, bam. And it filled the gap. Yes, Gap boys are very, very happy because the gap is already filled once again. So we can remove this gap because it got filled once again. So that was another thing that you could be, you could have just noticed and put into your mind, that most likely the price is going to be pushing back down towards that area to be filling that CME gap. So after it hits, like I explained before, after it hit the distribution zone at that green box here, as you can see, green box, distribution down, filling the CME gap, and well, structure is definitely not broken just yet. And then, like I said, very, very likely that we just move sidewards and onwards towards the upside. And like I said, most likely the third time will be the charm, and the third time we will most likely be breaking up. And yeah, I would say 13,000 first, then small retracement, and then eventually most likely 14,000. So good times for Bitcoin holders. After we hit the 14,000, however, things might become less fun for the bulls, and we might see a retracement from that area. But well, we will not be discussing over that area just yet, because well, we're not there just yet. So we'll just take it level by level. That's how I trade as well. Like I said, the green boxes are the areas, and we just trade from one green box to the other green box, basically, right? So that's basically how I'm trading, and that's basically how we should be, how I define, or how I try to lower my risk as much as possible. So I'll move this green box a little bit lower now on this area, because it seems that is the key area right here, right? So other than that, I'll be removing this line here, and I'll just leave that line here, because well, as you can see, that's the structure that we are also building on the 4-hour chart, right? So this ascending triangle that we are seeing. And to be clear, if we are making a measured move as well on the 4-hour chart, we will see that you will see that we will have around the same targets that we are seeing, right? So measured move, we are breaking towards the upside. Yeah, around the 13,000, as you can see, right? So yeah, first stop, most likely around the 13,000 when we break up from this triangle towards the upside. But yeah, once again, we we have to be holding all of these areas. We have to be above the EMA 21. We have to be above, at least at minimum, the EMA 55, and then we will move up and above. And until then, there is only one button that is working in my exchange, and that is the long button. So there's a lot of people who are asking me, did you short this move towards the downside? Although I kind of expect to be moving. Like I said, I don't want to be stuck in a short where I'm just chasing and just leaving it up, and I have to be monitoring all the time. That's just way too much stressful for me. I just buy the dip, and if I entered a little bit too long, then a little bit too early, then I'll just wait. And that's the fun thing about an upwards trending market, right? You just have to be a little bit patient, and most likely you'll be getting yourself out of the water anyway. So there's no real, stress until the trend changes. But the trend is right now towards the upside, and the trend is, as you know, your friend until the end. Anyways, so now we have the 12-hour candle closed, and as you can see right now, we did close above the pivot point. We did close above the EMA 21 as well. However, we did not close above the 10 simple moving average, right? So what does that mean? Well, nothing super bad or anything like that, but most likely a little bit more sideways, but I do expect us moving towards the upside rather than the downside over the next couple of days, to be honest. But Of course, there's still a chance that we would be swiping a little bit more towards the downside before we go towards the upside. But as long as we don't have, like I said, we don't have any major closes below 11,566. There's really no really big issues or anything like that. Oh yeah, one more thing that I forgot to say is, of course, the Dixie. I've told you guys when the Dixie would be rallying, and that is basically what you've seen here. You've seen this rally this morning, what with the Dixie, and that's also what caused the crash towards the downside as well, right? So Dixie rallying, CME gap, distribution zone at the 12.1 area. Ascending triangle that we were forming, everything was so confluent that just that is what is so beautiful on technical analysis. Sometimes you can paint this picture so perfectly, and if you have been following me on a daily basis, I think that picture that well, at least I have tried to convey. So of course, sometimes the message doesn't come over as I think it does. But yeah, for me, this everything that has happened the past couple of weeks has been pretty much perfect as what we have been when expected to be honest, right? So things look really good. Other than this, there's very little for me to say. Things looks very good, upwards and onwards and up to the next high. that's basically the only thing that I can say. And other than that, let's take a look on the expected move charts so we can see if what the expected move charts are saying. So expected move charts saying the first standard deviation to the upside is 11,955, which is the 12K. So back to the 12K over the next 12 hours, or swipe down towards the first standard deviation to the downside is 11,533, and doesn't really matter what will happen if we swipe towards the downside. It doesn't break any structure. If we swipe towards the upside, obviously it doesn't break any structure as well. What can we say on the momentums? As you can see here, the 12-hour is snaking around and it's trying to be curling towards the upside as well. So that looks very positive as well. On the daily, let's take a look on the daily. The daily here. Let's take a look. Oops, sorry. On the daily. Daily momentum is towards the upside. Yeah. Yeah, looks very good, right? Looks very good. Oh yeah, maybe on the long term, I can show you as well the momentum on the long term. Weekly, beautiful RSI in the bullish control zone. Like I said, key area for the weekly, as you can see here, 10,800. I've explained to you before already. Below 11,000 is on the daily closes is most likely not good. Anyways, on the 4-hour, can we see something on the 4-hour? It's just snaking around on the 4-hour right now, so nothing much that we can say about that. Is there something else that we can see on the momentums or anything like that? Not really. One thing, the HVP on the 12-hour, as you can see, is contracting right now. So we should have a big move over the next 2-3 days, right? Over the next 2-3 days, something like that. Within the week is what the HVP is telling us. So are we going to have that break towards the 13,000, 12,000? Well, first 12,500, 13,000 within this week. This is very probable, right? Very probable if we are looking at the HVP and we make something like this. Yeah, it never fills. So yeah, 15 or 16 of August, very likely. So maybe end of this week, we might see some very big move. And like I said, of course, the trend is still towards the upside. So I expect continuation towards the upside, right? Rather than the downside. Can I suggest when it's time to go into gold? Well, for gold and silver, I would be very careful. I'm not saying that it looks bad or anything like that. Let me take the gold chart. Look, this is the gold futures, by the way. So we had that dip that we had here, and most likely we will continue more towards the upside. If we are looking on the monthly chart looks very positive as well, as you can see. Macro on the weekly chart made a higher high, so it's very similar to Bitcoin. So most likely continuation, but how far is it going to be going towards the upside? I think one leg up more. That is what I be expecting. So yeah, another leg up, yes, most likely. But I would start to be very careful, because this rejection here at the at the 2100 level is quite substantial here, as you can see. So maybe we get a swipe a little bit downwards first towards the 10 simple moving average around the 2000 area. That would be what I would be expecting, to be honest, for gold for now. So maybe around the 2000 area. I would wait around here. So if I was going to be entering here the EMA 55, which is currently at 2007, as you can see. So I expect a little bit of downwards first before towards the upside, right? So that's what I would be expecting, at least. The Dixie, well, the Dixie is rallying. Well, it did rally this morning, right? It did rally, but I do expect the Dixie to be getting rejected around this area, to be honest. So a little bit more towards the upside, maybe and then head back towards the downside here. So I don't think the Dixie is going to make that be making that super break towards the upside or anything like that. But it will depend on the daily close. So I would be waiting for this daily close here. If we start to make higher than this point here, which is currently it is, right? As you can see here, but it's not closed just yet, right? So we have to wait for the daily close. I would be looking at this daily close. If we break above this this daily close here, most likely we'll be targeting 93.72, 73. If we break and daily close above that, then most likely we'll be having that huge move towards the upside here, towards the EMA 21 there. So then at that point, I would be very careful with Bitcoin, with gold, with basically everything, right? So, but for now, just monitoring it on a daily basis. Daily close above this area, most likely continuation to this area. Daily close above this area is a danger zone. So that's what I would be that's what we would be targeting. And I have my notifications there on the Dixie, because like I said, if the Dixie makes that move towards the upside, it's not going to be pretty for the traditional market. It's not going to be pretty for gold. It's not going to be pretty for Bitcoin. So yeah, that's the analysis on the Dixie. Right, so let's wrap it up, because well, there's very little to be saying than what have been said already before. Where do I expect this to be going? Do we get a little swipe down more for today? Maybe, because well, if we are looking at the RSI and our support on the RSI, once again, let's take a look on our side here. Yeah, so here we still have, I would say, a little bit of space that it can go down here, and then yeah, I do expect this line to be holding and then moving back up, to be honest, with all the momentum indicators showing towards the upside rather than the downside. So a small push maybe towards the downside, maybe 11.6, 11.7. Sorry, 11.6, sorry, not 11.7, 11.6 maybe, but I expect that would be bought up very quickly as well, and then upwards and onwards. That's what I would be expecting. But expectations is of course a very bad thing, right? So, but I can only say what of course currently what the price action is telling me, or what the momentum indicators are telling me, right? As long as we don't break, like I said, daily closes below 11.5, that would be very bad. Movement towards the downside. If we close below 11k on the daily basis, that would be a disaster for Bitcoin. So those are the key areas that you have to be taking a look at, and of course the Dixie, making sure on the daily basis that you keep track of it, right? So make sure that you keep track of all of these things, and Risk management is super important. If you are entering a trade, make sure that you have all the plans and the ideas and the stop loss and the movements prepared, so that you don't get wrecked or you don't lose your whole roll, right? Okay, so yeah, other than that, let's follow up on the action tomorrow. Hopefully we get more green candles tomorrow, and we can start talking about a really big push towards the upside. Oh yeah, one more last thing that I wanted to say, that Ethereum did not break out very strongly, as you can see here, right? So it broke out of that of this triangle, but it was super weak. But still, like, as you can see, still holding this green box here. Like I said, it's possible that we swipe one more time towards this green box here, but very likely that we will be going back into the $400 area as well, once we break up as well on Bitcoin as well, of course, right? So very similar. Bitcoin goes back to 12,000, and Ethereum most likely back to 400 something, right? So yeah, other than that, hope to speak to you again tomorrow. Please like, share, comment, and do what you want to do with this channel. And until tomorrow, please stay home, stay safe, and of course, stay COVID free.